Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Ashley, and yes, it's another favorites video. It's a favorites video. It is. I'm sorry, but these are my favorites. I'm not saying they're the best, but I'm letting you know that these are my favorites for 2018, and I've actually just kept it simple. So I'm just keeping it to the eye products, so we won't be here forever. I think eyeshadows are my jam. I love eyeshadows, and that's what really stood out to me. Plus, this was the year of the eyeshadow. You know, the year of the eyeshadow. So I pulled out my favorite products. I'm going to kind of go through them in no particular order. Some of these things I've talked about on my channel, some things I have not. And some of these things are from like before I even started my YouTube journey. So, because you know, I just love makeup. So let's go ahead and get started before it's just too long. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with the Marc Jacobs See-Quins. I think everybody, this is just like a fan favorite running around YouTube, but it's so good. It's so true. It's pricey. It's, I don't know what. It retails for like $28, and I picked up the color in Topaz Flash. Now, when you swatch it, it is like amazing goodness. It's the only way I can even describe it. It's glitter, but it has like a gelée formula, and it doesn't really have a base color. So you can build it up and wear it on its own, or you can put it with something else. And it's kind of like a gelée formula, and you just press in. But look how bright and vibrant that is. So it does actually have some base color, but when you, what? I stand corrected. I forgot. It does have a base color. So look at that. I mean, the shine is intense. The glitter is intense, and it's actually really easy to use. So if you're afraid of like using a loose glitter or a loose product like this, I would really think that you should try this, because you might actually really like this. It's easy to use. Like I said, it's pricey. $28, but I caught this on like the Sephora VIP sale. So if like the sale comes up again, I would suggest that you try it. It's beautiful. Like I said, it's been something that's just been floating around YouTube, and I was like, it really caught my eye as well. So next, I'm going to talk about a product from Raine that came out this year with their Power Pigments, and I picked them up on the first go round, and now they got them in like a whole legit palette. But before, you had to buy the singles and buy the Z palette. I totally think that's unfair. I'm a little salty about that, but it's all right. So I didn't want to buy their Z palette, so I put them in one of mine that I purchased from Amazon. And these are the shades. So they did such a great job. Like, you have some of your primary shades, you have an array of purples, you have an array of blues, and then you have also a couple different greens. And I think that's so important, because when you're looking like for different shades, a lot of people already have somewhat of their primary colors, but they're looking for like the different purples, they're looking for the different blues, they're looking for the different greens. And even this shade is like one of the most neutral shades right here. This is called Unbothered. But even Unbothered is just like a nice, it can also be like a nice warm crease color. I have done that several times this year. So I think they did such a good job with it. They are true to form. Like, look at this red here. It's like one swap, you have pigmentation. It's not an issue with it. And you know, purples, reds, blues, they are the hardest to formulate. And then you don't even need, you can use like a regular base. You don't have to use a white base for these to show up. So I think they just did a really fabulous job about it. I just think wish they would just released it together in a palette anyway, because most people did end up picking up the whole bundle. I think it was more expensive to pick up them individually versus the bundle. So they were really overpriced. But Raine, their quality is great, but sometimes they can be just a little overpriced, or when they initially come out with things, you're just kind of like, eh. But they are having like a site-wide sale, so I would check it out if the sale is just still going on. But I really think these are great. So if you're in the mood for like some really good purples and blues, and you want some mattes, I would definitely go with these Raine shadows. Okay, so the next one, like, it's just like, I mean, it just came out, but I mean, it's a favorite. I'm sorry. It's the Try palette by Juvia's Place. Oh my goodness. They teased us with this and then they finally came out with it. So this is what it looks like if you have not seen it by now. So this palette is absolutely gorgeous. I think it's one of the most cohesive color schemes that Juvia's Place has come out with. And you know, Juvia's Place, they have fantastic quality even with a low price point. So you have to respect it, okay? Now, all of this shadow all of the shadow in these shadow pans, see, they didn't even like the disrespect that I was about to say. Like, all of this shadow brings me such anxiety with using it up because these are the bigger pan formats. But I just think that she knocked it out. Like, greens and teals are definitely in. And even if you're not like a green or teal person, but you just kind of want some introduction to it, I think that this palette will still work out well for you. Like, this color is neutral, this color is pretty neutral, and this color right here. And then even this brown right here is like a green, dirty baby puke green, like everybody calls it. So you have some really fun options right here to kick up your look. And then this green also with this like kind of like a highlighter right here. That's what this reminds me of. And this Kelly green. And then this beautiful shimmer. This palette even can dupe well for like some of those shades in the Natasha Denona Gold palette that you're looking at, if they have that green duochrome flare. So this right here, I'm really surprised that it's even a favorite of mine because y'all about to come for me, but I don't even care. Like, me and Anastasia palettes, we just don't really get along. Like, everybody loves them, and I just be like, okay. I mean, it seems nice, but I don't know. Modern Renaissance, it just got really muddy on me. And then I had the makeup art Mario. Everybody's like, oh my God, bring it back. And I was just like, it's just all right. I mean, maybe it's just not my makeup aesthetic. I think Anastasia could be like, you know, people who are neutral, but then they want to kind of dip their foot in color. So I have the Norvina palette. I think this palette was fabulous. I think a lot of people were like really upset because they saw the purple packaging and it was just like, it needs to be all purple, it needs to be dark purple, it needs to be this, it needs to be that. Yes and no. She can do what she want to do, okay? But I like the color combinations that she came up with. So my huge issue with this palette is when you look at it and then you looked at the promo pictures, it's like, how did she get those looks? Because the only deep shade that you have is this one and this one. But other than that, I do like that it's 7 shimmers and you have 7 mattes. This matte Soul is so unique. But this palette is rather neutral with just really pops of purple. But Wild Child really does it for me as far as Celestial. Oh my God, you put Celestial like all over your lid and then put Wild Child in the corner. It creates just such a great fantasy land. It's so pretty. It's just like the prettiest purple shimmer. I just wish that it was like a purple shimmer or magenta, kind of like this color of my sweater. That's why I'm holding my arm up, or kind of color. Like, if they could have just put one of those bold colors in here, it would have just made it even better. But this is still a palette like you can wear every day if you wanted to. And I think they just really did a really good job on it. I know a lot of people were kind of hating on it because they just thought it should be more purple because of the outer packaging. But just because the outer packaging is something doesn't mean that the inside necessarily has to look like it, you know? So people are tripping. Like, it has this color base. I think they could have done without it and just put in another purple matte shade, and I think it would have been even better also. Not to mention you have Dreamer, and then you have Summer, and then you have Dazzling. Dazzling and Summer are like a little bit too close to comfort, but these shadows are great. They're usual Anastasia quality, powdery of course, but they perform very well. But the shimmers are just a tiny bit soft, but this is really like been a favorite of mine. Like, I've been able to use it very well with ease. I've been able to mix it with other palettes. I wear it by itself. So I've just really been loving this palette this year. I go in with another pink purple palette. This palette was like a pleasant surprise and it's super affordable. This palette is by Bad Habit Cosmetics. It's called the Pretty Poison palette. And Bad Habit, you know, they get a bad rap because they are always duping somebody's palette. I mean, it's like, okay, we get it. People can't afford it, but can you come up with something original? And they finally came up with something original. And I love this palette. The purples and the magentas, so pretty. So like, this is the color that I was saying like Norvina was missing, okay? But these purples, this duochrome shade right here, sorry, you can probably see like my setup, my camera. Sorry, I don't mean to blind you. But I think this palette was done right. It's pinks and purples done right with hardly any neutral shades. You have like one neutral shade, which is this Deadly Dose, which is more of like a purple based brown, and then you have Antidote, which is more like an aubergine color, so that's not even brown. And then you only have one champagne color, which is Paralyzed, which is more like a duochrome shade right here. So it has like kind of like a pink shift to it, if you can see. So I think they just did such a good job with this palette. It's pigmented, it layers well, the shimmers perform well. You don't even have to pack it on super hard. You don't have to wet the brush. Like this color, Femme Fatale, and it's like a nice pink iridescent with a purple shift. I think it performs so well. And usually colors like this that are bright are so hard to pick up, but they did a great job. Oh, I forgot, there is like one other gold shade in here called Stain. But I just love what they did with this palette, and I love the color scheme, and I love that it's affordable. So, you know, a lot of times you don't want to spend a lot of money on a palette that you're not going to use all the time, and I think this is a good option for a pinky purple palette. Okay, so you know, what's like a favorites video without some Colourpop? Because I feel like my channel is in between like Pat McGrath and Colourpop. It's like either Pat McGrath, Colourpop, or you somewhere in between on my channel. But I'm talking about the Makeup Shayla Perception palette. I think this is the palette that really just kicked it off. This is like where the Colourpop quality just started going up and up even more. Like, I like the single shadows and I like their pressed shadows prior, but I think this is really where it just started knocking this out the park. I think this palette is gorgeous. It's just, it's your whatever palette. Like, you need to go to work, you can wear it. You need to go out, you can wear it. If you want to pop a color, you can wear it. If you're going out with your friends, you can wear it. If you're going traveling, you can pop it in your bag. It's perfect. It has a mirror. It has, you know, Shayla, I just knew it. I was like, oh, Shayla gonna have a palette. She gonna have a mirror. She gonna have the names on the front. She's gonna have a gold. She gonna have a good warm brown, orangey transition shade. And she gave us that. She gave us that. And even with these these 4 mattes, sometimes your look can start the same, but when you add in one of these shimmers, it's going to totally change out. But then even with this particular palette, I feel like the shimmers by Colourpop just like stepped their game up. They're so thick, they have a lot of body, they perform well. So it's not even on the swatch well, but like this is one of the rose gold shades. It's like you don't even have to spray them to get full opacity or just like full performance or foiling activity out of them. They're so good. It's not super colorful, but if you're like one of those people like, you don't know about color and you're not going to do something so bright, like even this green is super complimentary to anybody who has brown eyes or anybody just kind of dipping their toe in the color. It's an olive color, it's more gold based, and it's not in your face. Sorry, that was like the worst area to swatch it, but it's not like in your face. So it's a great color where it's like neutral enough where you can just kind of dip your toe into some color. So I think she gave a lot of good choices like that. The mattes are great. I think she just really hit it out the park with this palette. This is a good everyday palette. So this palette was actually being compared to another favorite of mine, which is the Born to Run. So like Born to Run was like the more expensive sister, and then if you wanted a less expensive option, you can do the Perception palette. But Urban Decay, oh, I used to love Urban Decay back in the day, but they so hit or miss now. But this palette, they hit it. Praise the Lord. And this is actually permanent, okay? So you have this sleek packaging. I love to travel. If you guys don't know about me, I love to travel, okay? So this travel theme, I think is so cute. It's so different. It's so unique. It's like pictures laid over. It's a smooth texture. It's not like cardboard, but it's very sleek. It has a little bit of weight on it, but I don't mind that because I feel like if you're going to travel with this palette, like your shadows are really going to be protected. Like you're not going to have to worry about is it going to bounce in my bag, because the packaging, like I said, is very hard on it and it's sleek. So I like that it's not bulky and it's very sleek. Now it is a little long, but it's okay. I just really love the travel thing, the pictures. I think that's great. It has, you know, London on the back. It's one of my favorite places. If you guys just find me missing one day and I've moved out the country, I probably moved to London, okay? But it has this huge mirror right here, and it's clear. You can actually, sorry, blinding you, you could do your makeup in it. Then you flip it over and you have all these warm transition shades. You got your pinks, you got your purples, you got your fiery orange transition shade, you have a fiery orange shimmer, you got your peach shimmer, your peach transition shades, your warm brown shade, you got gold, you have all these grungy colors right here, like Wanderlust and Big Sky and Radio and Drift. Oh my god, if you put Drift, this is such a nice shimmer right here. Drift. It's silvery with like a hint of purple in it, and then you put a little bit of Smog over it. Like, the color combinations in this palette are unbelievable. This jet, this black, is so silky. So it's not like that blackout that they always put in all those palettes where it's kind of dry and chalky. Even a black, it's not a bad shade, but I prefer jet better because it's going to blend out so nice. It's such a nice black matte. It's really more of a satin, I would say. It's not chalky or dusty at all. Double Life, you have a nice dark brown deepening shade as well. You can wear this palette to work. You can wear this palette going out. You can do everything with this palette. So that's why they were saying you just got like a lot of choices, and this is why they were also saying, like, if you didn't want to pick up this one, you can pick up this one and have some of the same experience. And I think the formula is great. It's pigmented, it's not chalky, the shimmer shades perform. You don't have to like dig in them. The mattes do not feel dry, they're creamy. They really did a good job with this palette, and I know they have like the little minis coming out, and I haven't looked at them yet, but they need to keep going in this direction. But lately they're just so up and down, because even a couple other things they released are just like, no, why? Please, y'all were going in the right direction, but why? Okay, so the next palette I have is the Hasina 2 by Blush Tribe. I have been hearing so much about this palette all around YouTube, and I was just like, you know what, I gotta check it out for myself. So I actually did like this slow shipping, which is like $5, and I think in US dollars, because this company is based in the UK, that this turned out to be about $35. But this is the color scheme if you have not seen it. It is, I'm here to say, it is brown girl friendly. You don't have any problem with the pigmentation. All of the shades show up. The shimmers are great, and my favorites are Shay, Mani, Jade, Erin. Now, I think that a couple of the greens, like these two greens, we could have done without one of them, and I would have loved to see like a brighter blue. And then you have Anika, which is a lighter blue. You have a Natchy shimmer shade, and then also like maybe one of these two are kind of repetitive. But overall, I think the color scheme is beautiful. They really knocked it out of the park. I didn't have any problem with the pigmentation. It's not powdery. It layers well. They blend well. I've had maximum staying power. So I think that this palette is just like an excellent palette, especially if you're looking like to boost up your greens and your purples. And I love greens and purples even together in a look. So I think they just did such a good job on this palette, and I'm kind of excited to try more from the brand. Okay, so my next palette is this right here. Like, this palette, it is literally my favorite palette that Colourpop has released. Like, I love this palette. The color scheme is unlike any color scheme that's kind of like out there. I don't even know why this palette didn't even get as much love as it. I think it's just kind of getting the love it deserves, but it released within so much, and then I think Colourpop had like some issues with shipping the labels, so it got to everybody super late. But I'm talking about the Colourpop Good Sport palette. It is so good. Like, this is what I was saying, like, once Make a Shayla palette hit, I feel like the Colourpop, they release a lot. Oh, they release so much, but I'm like, at least I can say, like, if you buy it, like, the product ain't gonna be crappy. It's not gonna be crappy, you know. Like, it's a lot of companies that release a lot, and just like, this is a bunch of crap, you know what I mean? But if you buy from Colourpop, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna like something about the product, okay? This is the color scheme. I am feeling these grungy greens right here. This is like a bright neon green gold shift. This color EBB, it is so thick. I mean, it has so much body. Look at the texture. I mean, it's so smooth, buttery, creamy. It is like a dream. Do you see that? It is so bright. Look at it. You don't need to wet it. It will go on your eye just like that. Just with like out any type of brush you use. You don't even have to play around. Now I would say with like the Reckless shade and Flow and Sister, you're kind of gonna need a little scratchier brush for those mattes. They're a little bit drier, but I just love, look at that. They hit it out the park, man. Like, you just don't see color schemes like this. Like, you really don't. You know, a lot of times, sometimes Colourpop is just too neutral for them. You're like, what? Like, all them shades look, what was it, the Fortune palette? Or, like, all of that stuff look the same. But, like I said, these three for sure, you're going to need to scratch your brush. Even with so much with trophies, you only have, like, one gold. And this shade Hooked, it is such a grungy green. I love it. I love it. Then Wild Out is even a beautiful champagne. This transition color, it is so gorgeous. If you have like a complexion like mine, it is so brown girl friendly. You're going to have a great warm crease if that's what you're looking for. But all of these shades are beautiful. I love the color scheme, and it's just like, yes, they hit it out the park. The quality, even like the shade Rookie, trying to find like a clean hand. I'm like wiping it off. I think I need another makeup wipe. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take this, but Rookie is kind of like an orange peach with blue flecks. Like, we haven't seen a color like that ever. I think they just did such a good job. It's affordable. It's Colourpop. You know, the quality is going to be great. It's $16. You can't beat it. I think they got a sale on right now. You might be able to get it even a little cheaper. Okay. So I was like not even about to grab this in there. I was like, girl, what do you think about? You love this palette. I don't use this palette as much as I want to, but I love this palette. So this is the Violet Voss hashtag palette. I love it. The mattes I'm not so much crazy about, but the shimmers, especially these two rolls, I was like, I'll be playing myself if I say I didn't like it. I love fiery red oranges or fiery golds. I love it. And even these purples are nice. These two purple shimmers. I do think that you could have one more deepening shade that would not be a black, and I would be happier. I am not a person that needs a black or a shade like this in a palette. Like, y'all can miss me with all of that. I do not care. I think you have one, you probably have enough. Everybody has their favorite at this point. But Throwback is one of my favorite shades. Vacay is one of my favorite shades. FOMO is one of my favorite shades. I think these are so, like, if you just love rich orange coppery shades, this is literally the palette for you. I have taken this on vacation at the beginning of 2018, the very beginning of 2018, and I wore this palette the whole week in Brazil. I had such a good time using and creating looks with this, and it was just like infinite. But like the orange and the purples together are so pretty, and then you have the golds, and then you have the more coppery shades, and then you have your mattes to play along with it. I would just think that it should just have like one more rich matte, and it would be better. Like I said before, I don't need this black, but I think this is a great palette by Violet Voss. Okay, so I'm getting it. Y'all know I love some Pat McGrath, so you know, like, she had to be in the video. So we're here. I'm gonna start off. This is from Newer. So you know she introduced the little mini palettes this year, and they're spin-offs of her bigger mothership palettes that released last year. So this one right here is from the Opulence collection, and it's called Dark Star. First of all, she's pricey. She's pricey. But if you want to splurge and you know you're going to get good quality, Pat McGrath is really the way to go. Okay, if you want to splurge on a palette and you like, I want a high-end palette, or these are $55 as you know, and you want like, okay, I have I want something a little bit better than, you know, like Anastasia and Norvina, that was like 42. I think the sultry palette's like 42. If you just want to bump it up a few more dollars, like, yes, it's pricey per gram. I don't really care about per gram stuff. I care about how much is coming out of my bank account at the time. But the quality, you cannot deny the quality of Pat McGrath shadows. So I'm a sucker. I'm not a sucker, but I love a gray matte shade, okay? Like, they're hard to come by. It's so smooth. It's so pigmented. I have done 2 looks with this palette on my, I mean, I don't know why I was swatching over that, but y'all get the gist. You know, now these champagne shades, well, it's a champagne here, and then this gold, it is like, I don't know what to tell. It's like, it's full of body. It has, the texture is creamy. It's buttery. It's going to melt on your eyes when you put it on. It's going to be beautiful. You don't have to wet it. It's going to foil itself. It's vibrant. It's going to stay all day. Like, I just don't know what to say. This gold is everything. Then you have this beautiful deep plum dark shade right here that is like a satin, kind of like a shimmer shade too, but it's like a satin. That is beautiful. I mean, they swatch like a dream. They feel like a dream. You have this matte black, and this matte black is more of a satin finish. It's not like a, it's not a black like it's in her other palettes where it's more of a matte. This is more of a satin, and her satin finishes, like, you can throw them in the crease and they will blend out like a dream. This Interstellar, this blue shade with this purple shift, look. If you wanted the Mothership one with the cool tone shades just for the blue, I think you can pick up this palette and be very well suited for the blue. This palette is fabulous. Like I said, it's pricey, so you have the decision to make. Mother Pat has been running like sales on her website, like left and right. And then of course, like if the VIB sale is going on, you might want to pick it up. This one you can also use as a highlight. I've used it before. It's super reflective and pigmented, and it's just a good palette. I've talked about it before. It's just a good palette, and I keep going back to it. Like, if I want a smoky eye, or even if I don't want something so smoky, that gold, you could throw that all over your lid and be done. I'm like, oh, I don't know how long I had lipstick on, lip gloss on my teeth, but okay. Let me give you another makeup wipe, because I have, like, of course, I gotta swatch everything when I talk about stuff. It's part of the fun. So, I have one more mini palette to talk about from Pat McGrath. And I think, so, I talked about the Pretty Poison palette today. So, I think, like, if you can't afford to get this one, the Pretty Poison would be a good purple color story for you as well. That was the other palette I showed for you for Bad Habits, but this is the La Vie en Rose palette right here by Pat McGrath, and this was released in the springtime. This is when she first came out with the mini palette. She came out with 3 of them, and I gravitated to this one immediately. Like, this color story is amazing. First of all, you have this mauve tone matte color right here. Then you have a satin purple. You have a bright purple. This gold is beautiful. It's just like the gold in the Dark Star. Okay, we're not going to get into this. And then you have this nice flesh tone color that's so cohesive. Oh, and this hot violet pink. So let me pull out that Pretty Poison palette again. So if you were looking for a color scheme like that, but you can't afford the $55 one by Pat McGrath, like I said, this one again, because this is definitely more edited down, but you're going to have some of the same colors, okay? You have that bright magenta. You have that mauve tone purple right here. You have, what else? You got a gold. And wait, I was like looking for this. And you have a bright purple right here. And then, like I said, you have even a shade. So wait, is this a dupe? Okay. I'm like, is it a dupe? But you have a lot of the shades in this one if you cannot afford this one. And I mean, I get it, because like these, she will set you back some, okay? Especially for 6 shadows. But this purple is so pigmented. Like I said, it's in her satin formula, so you can blend these all over the crease. I think this one can be very wearable also. Like if you just back, I'm so confused. My camera just cut off on me. I don't know, but we're almost finished. Okay, so like I said, if you want like a palette that's maybe more everyday, these tones really right here, like this one, this one, this one, even this gold, you can definitely wear it every day. And then if you wanted to vamp up your look when you're going out, you can definitely throw the hot pink and that bright purple in there. I think this palette combination is gorgeous. I mean, she did not fail us, you know, and it's different just to see something so different. You just didn't know what shade she was going to reach from out of the big 3 palette, you know, the big Mothership palettes. This is Mothership 3 that this is a spin-off of when she did this palette, and I'm so glad she decided to do a purple. Okay, so definitely to start the show, and I think this is like everybody's favorite basically who has tried this. You've seen this again. You probably already know what I'm going to say. My package is like busted because Sephora sent it to me this way, but it's the Mothership 5. I'm just going to pull it out that way, okay? So, you know, with Pat McGrath, you're going to have artwork. Everybody like lost their mind. This palette, I think, is being restocked again as we speak. I think she said on New Year's Eve, which this video should go live, that this palette is coming back. So if you want to grab it, you better hurry up. You better grab it. It is flying off the shelf. This color scheme is gorgeous. Me, myself, and I love a good red. So when I saw this red, this Blitz Flame, I said, baby, yes, I'm here for it. I didn't have to think about it. That's the problem when you try Pat McGrath products anyway. Okay, so I was very hesitant about trying the other Mothership palettes. I was like, $125, I just can't do it. I got one as a gift, second one as a gift, hooked, okay, hooked. It's just, the eyeshadow quality is just impeccable. And then these shimmer shades, you can just, these extra special topper dual chrome, I've talked about these so many times, y'all. It's my favorite. I love it. I use it all the time. I love this matte. I love that it doesn't have a black in it. That aubergine shade is gorgeous. Let me tell you, I did a look with just aubergine and the Skin Show Divine. Like I had aubergine going in the crease right here, blended all the way out, and then the Skin Show right here, and some lashes and a fierce wing liner. It was gorgeous. The only shade to me that is kind of a dud in this is this. She could have, okay, let me press that back in. It didn't like me talking about it. This shade for me is just okay. It didn't even really pick up for me. And it's like, it's just okay. It's a cooler tone shade, but to me, it's just all right. That is a different formula from her. We're not used to it, but this one is the same formula. It's more glittery, but this coppery one, it definitely performs it's so beautiful. But the red, the 2 mattes, the Skin Show, these 4 shades right here, it just hit it out the park. And this is definitely these weren't in any order. They were not in any order, I promise y'all. But this right here was my absolute favorite of the year. And I wear it all the time. And I'm just like, you know what? Pat McGrath costs a lot of money. And I used to be in that mindset like, oh, I gotta save it for special occasions. I'm like, F that. I'm wearing it, okay? So I hope you guys enjoy my favorites, and maybe some of these were your favorites too. It was so many palettes that came out this year. It was like so many palettes I could have put in here. I mean, it was just like palette getting over here in the makeup community. But I hope you guys have a fabulous new year, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And you know I will have another video for you very soon, so please do subscribe to my channel. You know I would love to have you here, and I'm gonna even give you my good old chair dance. And I just want to make sure you guys have a wonderful new year. Happy New Year again. I just can't say it enough. You know, Happy New Year. And I hope you had a great holiday season. I know the holidays can just be tough on people, so just push through. Push through. If you're having a rough holiday season, I know some people are, and some people that I know are having a rough holiday season, but just push through. There are brighter days ahead. So with all that said, goodbye.